Hello friends, in this video I'm going to show you the best methods to unstick stamps from envelopes or unstick stamps from other stamps. If you would like to see more videos like this one, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to click on the bell if you want to be notified of new videos. Most postage stamps bring a gum on the back of the stamp. That gum, we stick it on the envelope using water or our saliva. So the best way to get stamps off envelopes is using water also. It also happens that if we store stamps all in a bunch together, if there's humidity in the air, the gum will react with the humidity and we'll end up with all those stamps stuck together. To separate the stamps from the envelopes or from each other, we have two methods. With the first method, we separate the stamps and we try and remove any residue of gum. And it consists in leaving the stamps soaking in water for a time can be between 30 minutes and a few hours, depending on the size of the problem. We can use a second bath of water to remove the residues of gum from the stamp, rubbing our finger softly on the back of the stamp while we are soaking it in the water. We might be able to do this with the water flowing out of a tap in our bathroom, but that is not recommended because wet stamps are very delicate and they can get ruined very easily. The paper of the stamps, when it gets wet, it gets very soft and delicate. So we have to be very careful when we hold it either between our fingers or with tweezers. This second bath might be quite useful to dilute any dyes that might come off the paper or the stamps and stain the stamp, including any oxide, as you can see in this image. From here we take the stamps and we place them on a piece of glass or plastic where we leave the stamps drying face down. To help in removing any excess water, we can put some absorbent paper underneath the stamps. If we have been able to remove all the gum from the stamp, we can place a piece of glass on the backing of the stamp without any risk of it getting stuck to it. If there still is some gum on the stamp, it will become stuck to the glass. To remove the stamp from the glass, we will have to apply a bit of humidity, just enough for it to get off the glass, and not too much to make the stamp roll up in a long drying process. One way to achieve this is putting the stamp in a sweat box. That is, a box with a sponge inside it and covered by glass. After some hours, many hours sometimes, the humidity in the air gets impregnated on the stamps and loosens them. But we must have lots of patience because this is a very slow process and we don't want to tear the backing of the stamps. As soon as we're able to remove the stamp from the glass, we put it on absorbing paper. And usually we will be able to cover it with a dry glass without it getting stuck to it again. And that happens because the stamp hasn't absorbed too much humidity. We can use the same method to flatten stamps that have rolled up. We put the stamps on the sponge, we cover the box with a bit of glass, and as soon as the stamps start absorbing some humidity, they tend to unroll. And that's the moment when we have to take the stamp, place it on a bit of absorbing paper, and flatten it with a piece of dry glass. The curling and rolling up of a stamp is caused mainly due to the difference of tension between the gum side of the stamp and the printed side of the stamp. The gum side of the stamp squeezes itself much more than the printed size, so it deforms and rolls up, curls, etc. To avoid this, the only sure way to avoid this is removing all the gum. Some people say that if you place the stamp between weights in plastic or glass or whatever, in the precise instant in which the gum is dry, it will not stick onto the glass and will be perfectly flat. The problem is to try and identify that precise instant in which the gum is dry is practically impossible. On the other hand, if the gum has dried and it won't stick to glass or your finger or whatever, it is not flexible anymore. And to force the flattening of something that isn't flexible, most probably will crack it. And that cracking causes a weakness in the paper and a failure in its integrity, even if we can't see that without the use of a microscope. I believe that can affect the quality and value of a stamp. However, a stamp without gum on it, especially a mint stamp, also falls in value. Well, I believe that's all, and I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please remember, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.